This is Skip Lockwood, and you're listening to MetsMusings. I was a pitcher, a relief pitcher, a closer with the New York Mets. I have a new book out called Inside Pitch, MetsMusings. Thank you very much.
This is Len Jeff from Baseball and Barbecue.
And the one place to go for New York Mets news,
Past week game reviews,
upcoming series previews,
interviews,
analysis,
opinion, and what's going down on the farm. It's Mets Musings with Gary Mack. So keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets.
Mets Musings with Gary Mack.
Now it's time for some New York Mets baseball talk. Here's Gary Mack bringing you the latest news and analysis from Mets Nation and the world of baseball on another edition of Mets Musings.
And hello and welcome to another edition of Mets Musings, episode number 332. Hope everybody had a good week out there, a little bit better than the Mets did. Didn't look so great. It started off with that dropping 2 out of 3 to Tampa Bay as they came in, but they did split a weekend series with the Philadelphia Phillies, and look, the Phillies are fighting for a pennant, so they look pretty good in that. Especially the last game, Jacob deGrom pitched 8 shutout innings again. Did not get a win, but lowered his ERA. He struck out 7 batters, completed 8 innings for the second consecutive start. And for the 4th time this season, he lowered his ERA to 1.68. He managed to keep the Phillies off the board despite giving up hits in 4 consecutive innings. Unfortunately, he was matched by the Phillies pitcher. So the Mets didn't score until the end, the bottom of the 10th, when Brandon Nimmo pinch hit a 3-run homer to get the split of the series and, bring that game home. Of course, then Washington came in and beat them last night, as we're doing this a day late, 5-4. I tell you, though, Washington is not the same team either that they were a couple of years ago or even last year. They just don't look as dominating, and but hey, they won, and we've got 3 games left in that series. 1 more tonight, and then Saturday and Sunday as we record this. So keep an eye on that series. But I don't know. It's a tough year, folks. It's really, really tough. It's difficult to come here every week and try to be optimistic, and I think you all know that by now. They're just struggling and just not playing good baseball at this particular point in time, and they're hard to watch. So what we're coming up to the All-Star break, maybe they can get it together a little bit to, play better ball the second half of the season. We wouldn't expect you to win to make a run for the wild card or anything like that, but let's play a little bit more baseball, better baseball, the second half of the season, and I think a lot of people would be happy just to see some good ball being played. And maybe we'll get some guys back from injury. Mickey Callaway announced on Wednesday that Jason Vargas will make a second rehab start for the short season A Brooklyn Cyclones. Hopefully another rehab start like his last outing for Brooklyn. He had a great outing, went 6 innings, gave up 1 hit, no walks, and 9 strikeouts. He did that on Monday. It will help kick him into gear. Vargas has been sidelined with a strained right calf since June 24th. And has made just 9 starts for the team after signing a 2-year, $16 million deal with the Mets in February. $16, it would have been more worth it. Vargas broke the hamate bone, the hamate bone in his right non-throwing hand during spring training, and was out and came in and has been terrible so far. But, he started last year. He was awesome. and then had a rough second half. Maybe this year he was so terrible in the first half, maybe he'll have a good second half and be awesome. So let's watch that and see what happens with that. Mets right-handed pitcher Noah Syndergaard threw a bullpen session on Wednesday and will return to the starting rotation on Friday against the Nationals. Mickey Callaway said. Syndergaard, who has been out since May 25th due to a finger injury, struck out 7 batters in 5 innings in his first and only rehab start with short season Brooklyn on Sunday. Brooklyn's been busy. He allowed 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 walk, throwing 46 of 71 pitches for strikes. He reached 98 miles per hour in the first inning, settled down after a rough first inning. I have to say, I watched some of that game. I saw the Cyclones are broadcasting, they say, most, if not all, of their home games. It's been a little sketchy, but that game happened to be on Facebook Live. They're going to broadcast their home games, most, if not all. That's what I was told. To Facebook Live. And that was a game that happened to be one of the games that was on. So I was able to catch that game and really enjoyed it. So Thor looked pretty good. First inning he struggled a little bit, but then got it together and really looked good right after that. So he's coming back. We'll see if he still got the stuff and whether they decide to trade him. Maybe they'll trade him. Okay, this one came totally out of left field, literally and figuratively. Yoenis Cespedes has been practicing at first base in the Mets facility in St. Lucie as he continues to work his way back from a hip flexor/quad injury. This report as of Joel Sherman of the New York Post. Cespedes has been taking ground balls at first base in addition to fly balls in the outfield. Sources told Sherman that it was Cespedes' idea to try playing first base, and he believes playing at least some first base could alleviate strain on his legs. Assistant GM John Rico said there is a chance Cespedes could play first base this season, even though he would prefer if he could have an entire spring training to prepare. We know he is open to the idea, Rico said, according to the Post. That is something we have to discuss long-term if that works. He is taking grounders to see how it feels. That is the extent of it so far. We hope to have him in rehab games during the All-Star break. We still anticipate that he comes back as an outfielder, but we have had discussions, and he is open to first base. Rico indicated that the likelihood of Cespedes playing first base this season depends partly on whether or not the coaches feel he could play there. Boy, does that throw a monkey wrench into everything, doesn't it? So what does that mean for Peter Alonso? What does that mean for Dominic Smith, who we know what it could mean, and he could be writing his own ticket back to Vegas. But I don't know. Cespedes at first base, is that a long-term solution? No, his contract, he's 32 or whatever. His contract only runs a couple of more years, 3 more years. And then what? Then do you keep Alonso in the minors all that time? Do you keep Dominic Smith in the minors all that time? Do you keep Dominic Smith and play him in left field, which is kind of crazy if you think about it? I don't know. But speaking of Dominic Smith, having gone 4-41 in his last 16 games, the Mets are considering sending first baseman Dominic Smith to AAA, according to Matt Ehalt of NewJersey.com. Smith has only started 15 of the team's last 29 games. Smith had waited a few months for a chance to impress Mickey Callaway and the Mets, but has struggled with his opportunities, especially of late. He's been struggling at the plate. He looks indecisive at times, Callaway said after the Mets' 5-4 loss to the Nationals. We just need to constantly evaluate where he can get the best development. Smith is frustrated with himself because he knows he can do more. I know I'm capable of doing more offensively, playing, not playing, stuff like that, Smith said. You got to figure out ways to keep having quality at bats and grinding them out and constantly put those together one day at a time. That's how stuff will get rolling. The 23-year-old has just one RBI in 71 at bats this season, and that was on a solo home run. He has 26 strikeouts. Are they giving him an opportunity? Really? I mean, you can't start him for 2 or 3 games and then sit him down if he strikes out or whatever. And put in Wilmer Flores. You either got to decide to throw this guy in there and let him play, or send him back down and let him play every day. But is he going to play every day? Because Alonso's down there now. I don't know. Is this guy a bust? He could be. He could be a big bust. He could just not. It's not going to work out. But I don't know. At 23, to just toss him aside, I say you play him the whole second half of the season and see what happens. At the end of the year, make a decision. If he's a bust, he's a bust. If you can't cut it, you get rid of him. It's that simple. But you can't send him back down in the minors, hope he gets hot, and then starts to move him. And then try to move him. Because now he's got a track record in the major leagues. So his track record's got to be in the major leagues if you intend to trade him. Because you've already exposed him to the major leagues. If he had been still in the minors and had that short little, view of the majors and didn't do well, then there's some, then you could probably move him. They probably should have moved him last winter. But now, after that view and this view up here in the majors, you're not going to trade him and get something good for him. It's just not going to happen at this point. But stranger things have happened, folks. So who knows? Starting in September, the Mets will meet with a wide range of outside candidates, both young and seasoned, for the general manager vacancy. Although longtime executive John Ricco will be considered and many current and former employees are rooting for him to earn a job, his case does not appear particularly strong at the moment. If that changes, it will only be after the team conducts a thorough search. Now, my question is, who's going to be doing these interviewing? Is it going to be Ricco? Is it going to be Omar Minaya? Why would you interview somebody that's going to be either your boss or take the job that you want? I don't understand how this is going to work out. I don't understand how this three-headed monster is going to work out. But they say they're going to do an extensive search. Is it going to be Jeffy Wilpon doing it? Is it going to be Ricco? Is it going to be Minaya? Is it going to be the other guy whose name escapes me? I don't know. I don't know. It's sort of a crazy setup here, but hey, is it really that crazy? It is the New York Mets. And let's see, a Citi Field vendor fatally choked while eating at the Queens Stadium following the Mets' loss to the Phillies on Tuesday night, police said. Husnain Shah, 30, lost consciousness around 10:30 p.m., according to cops. Stadium workers alerted a police officer who called EMS and then performed the Heimlich maneuver, officials said. Paramedics gave CPR before taking Shah to New York Presbyterian Hospital in Queens, where he was pronounced dead, police said. Husnain lived with his parents in Queens Village and worked full-time at Citi Field, according to his neighbor, Shahed Islam, 41 years old. Our condolences go out to his family, and I don't know what that says about the food at Citi Field. I heard that he got a hot dog caught in his throat, and they just couldn't clear it. I don't know. and you can't make jokes about something like that. A man lost his life, but our condolences go out to the family. All right, let's take a break and be back with some very special guests from a different locale right after this.
Looking for great Cardinals talk? Then check out Conversations with C70. My name's Daniel Shoftaw, and I talk with some of the great bloggers on the internet today about their teams, but it always goes back to the Cardinals. Find the latest episode on my website, www.cardinal70.com, or at baseballpodcast.net.
Did you know that Baseball PhD can be heard on baseballtalkradio.com?
Our shows rotate with other top baseball podcasts.
Now don't forget, that's baseballtalkradio.com.
With us, we'll help you get a PhD in life through baseball.
With baseballtalkradio.com, you'll hear the rest of the excellent universe of baseball podcasts.
516-619-6341. That is the comment voicemail hotline if you'd like to be a part of the show. And drop us a line, leave us a comment or a voicemail, question, anything at all. Call that number, 516-619-6341. Or go to MetsMusings.com and click on that widget in the middle of the screen, and that's a speak pipe, and you can leave a voicemail right through your computer through your computer's microphone. Or if you prefer to do things the old-fashioned way, send us an email at metsmusings@gmail.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com/groups/MetsMusings, and the Twitter handle is at MetsMusings1.
With all the Mets news, it is the news from around the world and around the corner. Here's Gary Mack.
And I'm back, and slightly different background for this interview tonight, because I got two guys in the studio with me tonight, and they just wouldn't fit in my little studio, but they're here to talk Mets baseball, and that's Len and Jeff of Baseball and BBQ. Guys, welcome to Mets Musings.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Well, we just did a little bit of your show and talked a lot about the Mets, but what about the Mets of this season? I mean, it's been a long, tough season, and we still got a halfway to go. So
It has been a tough season. I mean, I think I ranted and raved enough in the first half. There's nothing left. I mean, it's just watching the guys develop. Got to get the young guys here. Got to put Dom Smith out there every day, Rosario, Nimmo, Conforto. Put them out there every day. See what you got. What else can you do?
The problem is that's all they have. I mean, last night the Phillies started a pitcher who's, I think, 11th ranked. It was his debut. Right? He's 11th ranked, I think, in their organization. And the Mets brought up a 28-year-old. I think it was his first major league start.
Yep.
And he got shelled, right? It was not a good game.
Right.
And that's where we're at. Their farm system there's nothing there.
Well, this year they've started 7 pitchers made their major league debut. 7. That's a problem. That's a problem. That's when you know that you're not going to have a good year.
Well, you're going to get more.
Yeah.
But there is good news on the horizon, because they did have MLB Pipeline recently made them raise their level of competence in the farm system to a B, based on the fact that with Justin Dunn and Anthony Kay, David Peterson having good seasons, with the draft of this year, especially drafting this kid Kelenic, who is tearing it up.
Yeah, he's over 500 average.
Yeah. There are some signs. They're a little bit down the line. The way this Kelenic kid is hitting, he could be up here in next year or in 2020. Definitely the way he's moving. But
didn't they just promote him from one A ball to another
Gulf
ball?
Coast to Kingsport, the
there you
rookie
go.
ball.
Okay.
Yeah. And there are talk is if he keeps hitting in Gulf Coast League, he could be in Brooklyn the last month of the season. So that'll be a boon to the site. Go out and watch the Cyclones then at this point,
Right.
Because these guys are playing hard and they're fun to watch and go to a minor league game then if you get so fed up with the Mets. But we're here. I'm here all year talking about the Mets, and it gets more difficult.
My sympathies. I mean, I don't know how you don't sit here. I watch you on video, streaming, and I hear you, and I'm just waiting for Gary to just start crying, And then I wonder why you don't just put the same podcast on week after week and just take time off, because it's the same thing. I would say I watch reruns of comedies. And then I watch the Mets, and it's a rerun of I laugh more watching them. It's I don't know how you do it week after week.
It's tough. It's very difficult, but that's why I have guests on. So we can break away from that every now and then.
I think what makes it more difficult watching our young guys play, because the guys across town have brought their young guys up and they're tearing it apart.
Right.
Tearing it up.
Yeah.
So that makes it even doubly tough.
Yeah, that makes it really tough. But because you wonder, why can't we bring a guy up? I mean, we bring up Rosario, and he's, he's what? He's not impressive.
No, well, last night he hit 2 triples.
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta find some.
Gotta find something. I get it.
I think he reminds me a little bit about Reyes when Reyes started. I remember Reyes was toward the end of the lineup, didn't have good plate discipline whatsoever.
Right.
But he got better, and I'm hoping Rosario, goes the same path and gets better.
I mean, you can see certain things there. You can see the glove.
Right. Yes.
You can see the speed. You can see the arm, except for that damn tap in the glove every time. I wish they'd break him of that habit. Mm-hmm. The plate discipline, though, is so difficult to watch.
Right.
I mean, he's a wild swinger, and doesn't somebody get a hold of him and say, hey, you got to work on that? I mean, you got to really work on that. I don't understand why they don't. And in the first place, he should have been prepared when he came up here.
Right.
And we don't see that. But we don't see that with a lot of the players.
Yeah. But the managerial staff, the Mickey Callaway, I mean, with his kumbaya and, comforting his players. And can I give you a hug? Come on, Rosario. Come on, let's hug it out. I don't see them being the coaching, the staff that's gonna do that with them. They just.
I'm going to disagree with my pal here.
Here we go.
For a minute.
Good.
For a minute, because the starting pitching has come around. I mean...
Yeah, so he's a good pitching coach.
He is a good pitching coach.
Yeah.
2 guys in the top 10 in the ERA. Matt and of course, DeGrom.
Right.
I mean, I was pleasantly surprised because Matt started out horribly.
Yeah.
His first 2 starts, he had like a 7 ERA. Now he's at 3.31 in the top 10.
Do the Mets have a pitching coach?
They do. Now they have 2.
Yeah. Okay, so, but the point is that Callaway, maybe he's a great pitching coach, but I don't think he's a great manager.
Well, he has made some mistakes, but you know what? I don't think he's fully to blame going.
No, he's not.
Whatever their record is.
He's not. He's a victim of circumstances, I think, with what Sandy Alderson did and what Sandy Alderson got him to play the field. Unfortunately, he's got to work with that. But, we heard so much about him being his pitching guru and how they were going to do the bullpen and it's going to be unique and different and everything. I don't see any of that. And the bullpen is absolutely awful.
Horrible.
And, as good as the starting pitches are, they're only going 5 or 6 innings.
Right.
So why aren't they getting these guys more stretched out? Why aren't they getting more to throw inside and to throw strikes or whatever? Whatever the problem is, it's too much.
You're right, because at that 100 pitch mark, gotta take him out. Take him out. 100 pitches, get him out.
Yeah.
Which is another argument, which we know we've gone back and forth with these analytics stuff. But yeah, 100 pitches. I don't know why that's the magic number. Is the 100 pitcher number 101 gonna ruin them? I don't know.
Well, and then it's not only that; it's it's just the whole analytics of they can't pitch 3 times through the order. You just imagine Tom Seaver or Jerry Kuzma not pitching through an order 3 or 4 times. I mean, it's ridiculous. These guys would do it constantly.
Right.
And they throw 300 innings in a year. These guys barely make 200.
Right.
So, but it's the game in general that's changed.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily for the good.
No.
All right. Jacob deGrom, of course, mentioned leading the National League in ERA. I don't know if he's still doing that after tonight. I don't know what's going on tonight.
Well, no score right now.
Trade him.
Keep him.
Trade him.
Keep him.
Trade him
Keep
and
him.
Noah Syndergaard. Goodbye.
Keep them both.
Yeah. Okay. Can I please? I got to tell you. All right. The Mets right now with Noah Syndergaard and Jacob deGrom, it's like having a crappy car, but you've got a Mercedes-Benz steering wheel. Okay? What's the point? Okay? Last year, okay, I know Syndergaard was hurt, whatever. Okay? This year, the starts that he makes, you still don't win. The time to do something now with those guys, you trade them. I know that this is not Met people, fans, which I am, don't want to hear that, but I think you've got to trade these guys. The Mets are not going to be a contender for a few years, and by the time they are, deGrom, who's 30, is going to be, getting towards the end of his career, perhaps. Get the value now. You've got to get good prospects. You got your farm system. Go from a B with your farm system. Bring it to an A.
I don't think you're going to get enough good. I don't think you can get the value for him.
For deGrom?
Yeah, I don't think you can get enough value for him. I don't think that anybody's going to give you all their guys like they have the ridiculous with the Yankees. First of all, that's never going to happen.
No, I'm not saying the Yankees.
I'm just saying. As an example, it's got to be Torres, Andujar, Sheffield, Frazier. You're not going to get him back. I mean, with that trade, okay, maybe. But you know what? deGrom's the kind of guy, he doesn't throw that hard where he's trying to throw it through the catcher.
Okay.
I think he can pitch till he's in his upper 30s. Those are the
Okay.
guys, and you got to build around that guy. I don't think you're going to get enough.
But with what?
Well, I'm not the general manager. That's his job.
But
I don't think you're going to get enough for him. I don't think you're going to get enough value.
And then the other aspect of that is you're trading for prospects. How do you know they're going to pan out?
Exactly.
So,
Well, that is true. You're right.
I mean, that's the other thing. Tom Seaver went for
Zachary and
Zachary,
Flynn and Dan Norman.
And
Steve Henderson.
And Steve Henderson was a 5-tool, can't miss player.
Right.
He had a couple of nice seasons, but nothing, Tom Seaver-ish.
Right.
So,
you got to hit. You have to be right on this.
What do they say about insanity? Okay, it's doing the same thing and expecting different results. Okay, so the Mets season, is lost. So now we go into next season. With what? What are we putting with him? I hear people saying, "Oh, you got to sign Manny Machado." Really? And there aren't other teams that want Manny Machado. And how much? And the Mets are not a team that's going to pay a Manny Machado, even if they.
Given the Mets' history, any free agent comes here got to be nuts because they get hurt.
Right, it's the way to end your career.
Well, it's true, but they have to do something, and it can be turned around quickly. I think nowadays more than it used to be. Again, they've got guys that they could probably move from the minor leagues that might bring in something if they need be. I'd like to see like you said, I'd like to see Dominic Smith. Let's see what this kid's got. The problem with that is if he's got nothing, you can't get rid of him.
Right.
So then you just got to release him, let him go, play in the minors or whatever. Sometimes you're better off letting them go when they're in the minors because you can get something for them, and if they don't pan out with another team, you don't really care. But it's a tough situation, and I don't know what they're going to do. And add to the fact that just getting back to the deGrom Syndergaard argument, trading them, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with this triumvirate GM idea, them planning the future, and then they turn around and say they're looking for a general manager. I don't understand that, because if these guys want to are they going to interview their potential bosses? I mean, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
No, it doesn't. And is the general manager going to be one of these three? I know we know DePodesta used to be a general manager. We know Omar was, but Rico is the guy that they love, and but he's been in the organization so long he doesn't know from winning.
Right.
You need to bring in some guy who knows what he's doing.
Right. And who is that guy? I mean, are they going to? And then is he going to be hamstrung by the Wilpons?
I don't know, but you know what? Scrappy Sandy, as you like to call him, his drafts hasn't been, great over his career with the Mets.
Yeah, he's hit on a couple.
Well, Conforto, who's in the major leagues, obviously, but he's batting, 213? I mean, Rosario's batting 30 points higher than him. Who would have thunk that?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
They've had a history of never developing root hitters.
Right.
And they may have rushed Conforto. Who knows?
Who knows?
They rushed him in 2015 up. I think he'll be okay. I think he's just lost now, and I think it's just being compounded, and maybe needs a little break and sent down to the minors.
Well, when Cespedes comes back, if Cespedes comes
back,
back,
I mean, you got Nimmo playing every day now,
right.
and. And Bruce is on well, he's just got hurt again, so
right.
He'll be out another 10 days.
What's the deal with Cespedes? I mean, I think it's now more psychological. I mean, if he's hurt, obviously want him back at full health, but he's thinking to himself, why come back? What's the point?
I think Cespedes is the type of guy, he's got to play at 100% or he doesn't want to play.
Yeah, but that's a problem.
Well, of course it's a problem.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got a big contract, and he can always say, who's to argue? He can say, "Oh, it still hurts me. It hurts me when I run."
Yeah, well,
and I agree with you. It's a big deal, but I think that's the kind of guy he is, and we've had them throughout baseball where guys didn't want to play unless they were 100%.
Cespedes is that fine, luxury car that. You have to. It's got to be perfectly tuned, and it's got to be running. And you could take it out for a drive, and then all of a sudden, wait, I hear something. Got to bring it to the shop.
Yeah.
And that's, like I said, it's a problem.
We're getting a lot of car metaphors.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get sponsored by like Maserati or something. But
they don't play through aches and pains these days.
No.
No, they don't. And we were discussing it on your show about the money, and then it could be a big issue with the money. A guy doesn't want to play and risk further injury if he can just,
What's his motivation to come back?
There is none. That's what I'm saying.
He's got a $110 million contract. What is his motivation to come back? He doesn't.
The losing team. Why come back to the losing team?
And now there's a report where he's talking about. He suggested that he wants to play first base. Well, learn to play first base. We didn't want to play right field, so it's the same side of the diamond.
Right, exactly.
And to me, I do get a kick when they say put him at first base. First base is not an easy position either.
Right.
You're constantly moving. I know the movements are different. It's not long strides. You're not running for a ball or anything. But, and then that screws up. What do you do with Alonso or Dominic Smith then?
Right.
If you move him to first. I mean, with his contract, I guess you'd have to do it. Or you'd have to attempt to do it, What I would do, I guess, is I would move him to first base. See if he can make the transition, and then see if he can dump his
right. Well, he did say
his contract.
He did say he wanted to finish his career in Oakland, so
There you go. Maybe they need a first baseman.
But he is such a big part of the Mets offense. When they got him in 2015, took off.
Yeah.
You know what? And 16, did he play the whole year? I think for the most part,
he was in and out.
He was in and out, yeah. But it got him to the playoffs. I mean, one game, I know it's not really the playoffs. That's got him to the wild card game.
Well, it still got him there.
Right.
It got him to the playoffs.
But the last 2 years has just been very tough watching. I mean, he hasn't been on the field at all. It's just it's like he doesn't want to be on the field.
And everybody said the injuries. It's the doctors, it's the training staff, and everything has changed.
Maybe it's the players themselves.
Right.
I mean,
or maybe it's just the whole system.
Maybe
the whole system doesn't do. I always have a theory that these guys are in too good a shape.
Right.
That
I agree.
Their muscles are so taut, and they all look great on the beach.
Right.
But they can't round first base without pulling a muscle or something, and that's just my crazy theory. And people think I'm nuts sometimes.
No, he was supposed to fix it this year. Remember, he was going to do the yoga and the Pilates.
Yeah, he did. They said he did.
And drink the water and keep hydrated.
He may just have a terminal
chronic problem.
And it's gonna be, that's what's gonna be, and that's it. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get back to the bullpen for a second, because that bullpen, it changed from year to year. Blevins was so good last year.
Yeah. Last couple of years.
Yeah.
Right.
This year
can't get anybody
Can't get it out.
Yeah, it's a funny thing with the bullpen, and it's a big chemistry thing, I think. And I don't know. That's why I'm a little down on Callaway and Island for that matter, because they were, as I said, they were the pitching gurus, and they were going to get this bullpen in shape, and these guys are terrible.
Right. Swarzak, and he was supposed to be pretty good, and
he's awful.
He puts gas on the fire.
Yeah, and then, and I feel bad for Paul Sewald. The guy pitched great last year. He pitched great in April, and he burnt them out. He kept using them, and this was the guy that wasn't going to burn people out, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use him differently.
Right.
I'm going to, nobody's going to get burnt. He did what Terry Collins did. He burnt them out. He kept going to him. Now the guy's up and down to the minors and stuff, and I just feel bad for a guy like that, because he deserves better than that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they bring up Flexen.
Right.
Flexen is sitting on a bench for 5 days, and then they put him in a game, and then they expect him. But he was starting every fifth day down in Vegas. You can't do that to a guy, Now I see tonight Dendek is up. Jacob Rain, I think, is back.
He's back?
Yeah,
okay.
I can't keep track of it anymore. Who's going, who's coming?
I know. I saw Ty Kelly back up the other day.
He's back, because Frazier went
on the DL, right?
I don't know. What do you guys thought about these injuries and stuff?
It's is it an excuse every year, Len? It happens, but you thought Syndergaard. Oh, he hurt his finger. He'll be back in a week.
Yeah,
it's 6 weeks.
Right. I know. Remember when Ike Davis played first base, right? He ran into who did he collide with?
David Wright.
Right. And they said he would be, it was just a simple, right? It was just like a simple collision, twist an ankle, and the next thing you know, he's out for the rest of the season. Yes. And then I think he got Lyme disease the next year or something.
Fever.
It was like the weirdest. What is with them? But these little injuries, you're right. Well, Cespedes, they said, it was just his hip or whatever. He'd be out for just a little bit. It was just a precaution. He hasn't played it in weeks and months, right? Yeah. And you're right, Syndergaard with his index finger. He needs a little rest.
6 weeks later.
6 weeks.
Yeah. What is
6 weeks? 6 to 8 weeks, it seems.
Yeah.
Thank God we have Jacob deGrom, who Len wants to get rid of. But he might be our best pitcher since Gooden.
I would have to say so. He's very close to it.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not that I want to get rid of the guy, okay? I don't want to, but I just want the team
to do
better. And they're not winning with him. And they've got to build. And I'm not saying trade him. If you're not going to get value for him, then you don't trade him. But I can't believe that you're not going to get value for him. And you're right, though. I don't know that they have the talent evaluators in place to make a trade like that. You don't know. But I just think that I don't think it's going to happen in the next couple of years, but I hope I'm wrong. I really do.
DeGrom knows how to pitch.
Yeah, he does.
He's got to go a little deeper in games. Like you'd hope he can go maybe 110 pitches, 120 pitches.
He didn't start as a pitcher, actually.
No,
he was what was he, a shortstop, right? Yeah. So maybe I've heard that he doesn't have he hasn't thrown all the pitches. So even though he's 30, right, He doesn't have the wear on his arm.
Maybe he started later in life.
So maybe. You know what? Maybe they'll teach him how to throw a knuckleball. And then he can throw till he's 40. You know? Hey.
I mean, I'd be more apt to trade Syndergaard.
Of the two? Yeah.
But he's injury prone. That's the thing with Syndergaard. So what do you get? I don't know if you're going to get his value.
To me would be because, as what you said, DeGrom is the pitcher. He knows how to pitch. If he loses his fastball, he'll learn how to pitch. He already knows. I mean, I read just finished a book about Warren Spahn. It was very interesting. And when he lost, not that he threw like these guys throw, but when he started losing his fastball, he added a changeup. He added this. He added that. Screwball. He figured it out and played for how many years till he was 45. He pitched. So there are ways to do it. I don't know in this day and age whether it's possible, if they even have the dedication, again, because of the money.
Right. When DeGrom, though, okay, he has one more year before he goes free agent, right?
Yeah. No, 2 more years.
He has 2 more. Okay.
2.5 more years, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm thinking, are the Mets even going to sign him?
Well, I think they should sign him to an extension in this offseason.
Sign him now.
Yeah, buy out 2 years of arbitration and get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, he has a family now. He get the security.
Right.
Get it done now.
Okay. One final question because I see my computer is going dead.
Oh boy, that's how you know it's over.
What didn't I tell you that? David Wright.
Okay.
Thoughts on David Wright?
He could have went down as one of the greatest Mets of all time, who spent his entire career as a Met, and unfortunately, again, the injury bug got him. If it's not his back, it's his neck. If it's not his neck, it's his arm. You know what? I think he should hang up. I like your idea. Come back for one game at the end of the year. Give everybody a show. Let him get his standing ovation, which he deserves. He's a great Met, and let him go out and be a coach or manager someday, or be an ambassador. He is really a good guy for the team.
What?
Okay, so I'm a big David Wright fan. But is he ever coming back? Probably not, right? He's probably not coming back. Again, they gave him this big contract. That was whatever. I agree with you. He should retire, but he has a lot of money still due him. So, and you gotta give the guy credit though, because he has gone through surgeries. I mean, he really has tried to come back, and I feel so bad for the guy because he really.
And this is a guy who wanted to be here.
Yeah,
that's why Mets fans love him, because he wanted to be here.
Yeah. I feel bad.
I never had a problem with them signing him.
No.
He got it for what he did.
Yeah.
And I always go back to the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
And the man was everywhere. Every TV show, he was Mr. Met. Yeah. I mean, he was really the ambassador. Not the Will Ponds, not Terry Collins. It was all David Wright was there. And he deserves every chance to come back.
But see, his injury is spinal stenosis. That's
right.
That's a real thing that it doesn't get better.
No.
And it's really, it can be debilitating. So he understand a guy like Cespedes. When you look at David Wright and you look how he's trying to come back, and whether it's pride, the money, whatever it is. And then you look at Cespedes. I know. It's really it's
like total opposite.
Yeah.
Thing, so.
Yeah. It would be fantastic if somehow he could play again. But
like I said, like Jeff said, my idea was that even if he can't play, he's got to have one more swing left in his body.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody can go and have one swing, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you do. You get him to pinch hit in the 8th inning, the final game of this season, and you say it's David Wright. Make it David Wright Day. Have the ceremony, all of that stuff.
I don't know if he'd even go for that though. I have a feeling that he would not want to do something like that?
I don't know. And I put him right into the freaking Mets Hall of Fame right away that day.
Yeah.
I don't know about retiring a number, give that a little time to settle. But I would put him in the Mets Hall of Fame and let him take that one last at bat. And you know, I'm sure if they're losing 8-0, that the pitcher's going to groove one and you know, let him.
He should have a role with the organization, definitely.
Yeah, I heard somewhere that he said he doesn't want to coach.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. I think he'd be a good coach. I think he'd be a good manager. You know, I would have loved to see him in Brooklyn. That would have been nothing against Edgardo Alfonso, but would have loved to see him in Brooklyn. So.
Yeah, I think he would be a good, good manager or something. I heard him say something that he's in the clubhouse, but he's not really a leader in the clubhouse. He says because he's not on the field.
Yeah.
Right.
He
so
feels he got to be on the field to lead.
Right.
So,
right.
But you know, let's hope all the best to him and that he can come back.
Yeah. Right. We can't end on a sad note like that, though. Gary, come on. I mean, we gotta. You brought me down with that. The whole episode, we're talking about the Mets.
How about I have one suggestion? You just mentioned some guy, and I thought of this last week because I did go to a Cyclones game, not this past Sunday with Thor, but the Sunday before. Edgardo Alfonso was a great hitter for the Mets.
Yes,
he knew how to hit.
Right.
Teach these guys. Let him teach these guys how to hit to all fields. He can do it.
Well, I'll tell you this. You're bringing up the Cyclones, and this year though they are hitting much better than they have in the last few years. And I believe Marlon Anderson is the hitting coach this year, and I think he's made an impression on some of these guys because I see them doing more things than they've done in a while. And last year it was just they were terrible hitting wise. This year they've got guys hitting 300 and two. I mean, last year was like 143. You know, I think it was a 202 team batting average. It was a low. It was not a good year. Now they've lost some games, but they've lost some close games this year. And reason I know is I used to do the Cyclone Fever cast, and I kind of got too busy to do that. We may revive that somewhere along the line. But I also have the minor league package, so I get to watch them whenever I can. You know, certain teams broadcast over that. Now they broadcast supposed to be most, if not all, their home games, and it's been very spotty on Facebook. They're broadcasting, but Alfonso was not good last year. He wasn't Mickey Callaway-ish, but he wasn't far behind him. But this year they're a better team, so they're more fun to watch, and they probably have better players this year.
Right.
Last year was a bad draft year, and they went for a lot of pitchers and they went for a lot of collegiate guys that didn't pan out. Some of them pan out, some of them didn't. But
so are you saying there's hope? Is that how?
Hope.
There is hope. There's hope. Yes, Met fans, there is hope. Be optimistic. There's hope.
Keep the faith.
Keep the faith. Stay optimistic. And let's go Mets. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming this evening, and it's been a real blast having you on and being on your show and having you here in the studio.
Thank
great.
you.
Love it. Yeah.
And we'll have to do this again
That'd be
sometime.
great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we'll be back right after this.
Hey, baseball fans and book fans as well. This is Frank Nappi, author of the Legend of Mickey Tussler series, inviting all of you to learn more about my protagonist, Mickey Tussler, an incredible pitching prodigy who has autism. Follow Mickey's journey as he captures the hearts of fans everywhere with his blazing fastball and indomitable spirit. Please visit Amazon or www.franknappy.com for more information.
Hi, this is the world-famous Mr. Brewtown of BrewtownSports.podomatic.com. You know, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, Brewtown Sports. You can also listen to the show at Stitcher.com, TuneIn.com, and iTunes.com. And we've got the new one. It's called BrewtownRadio.weebly.com, but the one that I'm most proud of being on is BaseballPodcast.net. It is the home of great baseball talk shows. Check it out, my show and all kinds of other programs all about Major League Baseball. So check it out, That's baseballpodcast.net, the home for great baseball talk shows.
The Phillies and Mets rivalry has never been better. Hi, my name is Rich Baxter, and I host Phillies Talk Podcast. I hope you'll join me as we talk all about the Phillies all season long. That's Phillies Talk Podcast at fightinphillies.com. And now back to Gary Mack and this great edition of Mets Musings.
516-619-6341. That is the comment voicemail hotline if you'd like to be a part of the show. And drop us a line, leave us a comment or a voicemail, question, anything at all. Call that number, 516-619-6341. Or go to MetsMusings.com and click on that widget in the middle of the screen, and that's a speak pipe. And you can leave a voicemail right through your computer through your computer's microphone. Or if you prefer to do things the old-fashioned way, send us an email at metsmusings@gmail.com. The Facebook page is facebook.com/groups/MetsMusings, and the Twitter handle is at MetsMusings1. And if you'd like to help out the show, check out our Patreon page. Check out the campaign at patreon.com/MetsMusings. And I'm back, and I want to apologize. We had some video issues, as you saw, and some audio issues with the interview, but it was such a good interview, and we had such a lot of fun. I didn't want to deprive anybody of it, but I think you can hear the whole interview. The audio is fine, and that'll be complete up on the website if you want to check out just the audio of the thing. But the video came out pretty well. Computer went dead in the middle of it. My fault. Forgot to charge it all the way, and then it just kind of went. So we were using a laptop. We had to go into the other part of the studio, and but it worked. And the low camera angles, I apologize for. It was an experiment. We tried it out, and I thought it worked for the most part. We'll tweak some things the next time and get it better. But now let's go down on the farm. Hey, Mets AA outfielder Tim Tebow made the All-Star team for the Eastern League All-Star game. He went 1 for 4 with a double, played 9 innings at DH in the Eastern League All-Star game that was in Trenton on Wednesday night. He batted ninth. He doubled to left field in the second inning for his lone hit of the night. He grounded out, flied out, and struck out in his 3 other at-bats. The Syracuse Chiefs, the Class A International League, will rebrand for the 2019 season, coinciding with a switch in affiliation to team owner New York Mets. The Mets purchased the Chiefs prior to the 2018 season, but the team is currently fulfilling the final season of her player development contract with the Washington Nationals. Once that affiliation agreement expires, the Chiefs will become an affiliate of the Mets, a switch that will conclude with a change to a new name. It was already anticipated that a name change for 2019 and beyond could be in the offing, and the Chiefs have announced that will be the case. An official announcement on the rebrand is expected to come after the season concludes. More from Syracuse.com. The Syracuse Chiefs, in their first year under new ownership by the New York Mets this season, have announced plans to change their name in 2019. That's when the Mets will first put their AAA prospects on NBT Bank Stadium Field. The Chiefs can't reveal a new name or logo until after the season, but there's a good chance both will be very Mets-centric. I like this Chiefs. Why not just keep it the Chiefs? They got a cool logo. It works. It's already got branding. Why do you got to change everything? We don't want the Syracuse Mets. It's too bland. That's why we like this Brooklyn Cyclones and the Columbia Fireflies and the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. That's okay. I would have went somewhere else with that, but still a different branding. But we'll see what it is after the season is over. The Mets released right-handed pitcher Marcus Molina on Wednesday in order to make room on the 40-man roster for outfielder Matt Dendecker. Yes, he's back. Like a bad penny, Matt Dendecker keeps turning up. Molina was with AA Binghamton, landed on the DL on July the 4th after struggling mightily this season. Posted a 6.94 ERA in 81 and two-thirds innings between 14 starts with AA Binghamton and 2 starts with AAA Las Vegas. The Mets signed Molina in 2012 and went on to pitch well with Single-A Brooklyn, posting a 1.76 ERA in 76 innings, but would later fall victim to Tommy John surgery. And he was awesome in Brooklyn. He was really good. I really was keeping an eye on him. Was hoping he would make it, but he could be back. I don't think they can release him outright. Read somewhere because he's on the injury list, but they can release him to get him off the whatever. They can re-sign him to a minor league contract. I'm sure they're going to try to re-sign him. He's still a pretty young guy, and maybe a year and a half away from Tommy John surgery. The more he gets away, he'll get back to what he was in Brooklyn. He was awesome. Outfielder Rafael Gladue was promoted to the Advanced A St. Lucie Mets. He was hitting .275 with 13 doubles, 4 triples, and 1 homer in 71 games for the Columbia Fireflies. The 23-year also had a 23-game hitting streak earlier this season. Taking Gladue's place on the Fireflies roster was outfielder Zach Reams. A left-handed hitter has started his pro career off by going 5 for 24 with the Kingsport Mets. He was the Mets' 27th round pick this year. Infielder Anderson Bohorquez was also added to the St. Lucie roster, and outfielder Ian Strom was placed on the 7-day disabled list. The 20-year-old Bohorquez has a .833 OPS for the GCL Mets this season. The Jared Kelenic show finally showed up in Kingsport. The teenager went 2 for 4 with a clutch 8th-inning homer in his Kingsport debut. This kid has already been through the Gulf Coast League. Now he is in Kingsport. If he continues to hit in Kingsport like he did in the Gulf Coast League, could we see him in August in a Cyclones uniform, making the run up the ladder of the organization real quick? That remains to be seen, but this kid is supposedly he's all got the goods. Haven't seen him in person, but supposedly has the goods. So we'll see where his next stop will be. A switch hitting 17-year-old Mets shortstop prospect Ronnie Mauricio has played in 20 professional games, and he has hit in every single one of them. Mauricio, who the Mets signed for $2.1 million as an international free agent last July, is hitting .354 with 2 homers, 6 doubles, and 2 triples this season for the Rookie League GCL Mets. So there is hope, folks. Except Matt Dendek is back. I don't even know when they. Am I the only one? And it's hard to keep track of who's coming and going this year. I mean, there are so many guys. Relief pitches going up and down. I'm sitting there saying, why don't you put this guy in and then find out they sent him into the minors 2 days ago? Now Dendek is here. I don't know. Boy, whoever's juggling this ought to get extra pay because there's really a lot of juggling going on this year with the Metsies. They're just moving people in and out and up and down and all over the place. And whew, it has been something else to see. And it's going to continue. We're only halfway through, a little over halfway through. So Jacob deGrom goes to the All-Star game. In case I didn't announce that, I might have forgotten earlier in the edition. So, a reason to watch the All-Star game to root on Jacob deGrom, even though Keith doesn't think people, or Ronnie doesn't think people watch just to see their hometown team. Yes, they do, guys. Yes, they do. They've always done it that way. Always. Ever since I was a kid, and can remember that what a big deal the All-Star game was. But, we wait and we watch for our hometown guys. All right, so we've got 3 with Washington. Let's see, 3 with Washington, and then the All-Star break. And then they go to Yankee Stadium. But we'll be back next week to talk about a little bit more of this exciting season. Until then, remember to keep the faith, stay optimistic, and let's go Mets.